Bulavinaka, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rock.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selena, I'm from Tavenga Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music.
In the news tonight, Lolohe admits to stabbing in court trial. Fiji Times court case hears from letter author. And northern landowners get massive payment.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Smith.
Timothy Lolohe took the stand in the Suva High Court today and admitted that he stabbed his de facto partner Eleanor Didovi with 2 kitchen knives on the 20th of March 2017. Lolohe said that Didovi died from the stab wounds he had inflicted on her, and he reiterated that it was his intention to kill his de facto partner. Ana Ravulo reports.
Lolohe told the court when he first visited Didovi Nandera he wanted her to sign a sale and purchase agreement. When Lolohe asked Didovi if she would return to him after signing the agreement, Didovi replied no and said she will be with her new boyfriend as she was pregnant and it wasn't Lolohe's child. He mentioned that Didovi had replied to him with such insulting, provocative way that he was suddenly struck. He informed the court that he told Didovi he would not buy her a house and let her new boyfriend live in it. His de facto partner then told him that the baby she was carrying was not his and she wasn't going to return to him. Lolohe said at that very moment he was filled with an overwhelming feeling of rage, jealousy and fury. Lolohe mentioned that when he struck his de facto partner with a knife, all the anger bottled inside him came out and he wanted to finish her there and then. He said in court that he would have let his de facto partner leave their relationship if she had answered him in a nice way when he asked about her affair. Lolohe said at that very moment he was back in his military mode of training and that was to kill. He said that he found killing as effective and it had a disastrous effect on him leading to the death of his beloved Eleanor. He adds that when he toured to various countries overseas, he lived amongst people who were always in a conflict situation and were always volatile and that affected his life. Lolohe said that he wasn't always violent with Didovi until he found out her affair and added that he had invested a lot on his de facto partner. He has been further remanded. Lolohe is charged with 1 count of murder. The trial will continue tomorrow where the defense counsel is expected to present his witness. Ana Ravulo, FBC News.
The third day of the alleged sedition trial involving the 3 Fiji Times staff has today heard claims by writer Chosai Wangambatha that he wrote his article based on opinions from the streets. Wangambatha, Nailalakai editor Anare Ravula, editor-in-chief Fred Wesley and publisher Hank Arts are on trial for alleged sedition and aiding and abetting. Wangambatha in his caution interview had said that he was practicing his freedom of expression and was not against the government when he wrote the letter to Nailalakai, which was published on the 27th of April in 2016. Pranita Prakash reports.
Investigating officer Esili Nandolo took the stand in the Suva High Court this afternoon as the second prosecution witness. Nandolo said that on 14th July 2016, he interviewed Chosaya Wangambatha at the CID headquarters and in his caution interview, the writer had said that he started contributing to the Nailalakai edition after the 2014 general elections. Wangambatha said that his articles contained issues affecting the Itoke community and these issues were land, fishing rights and ownership of land. He said that these were the issues he heard from people on the streets. Wangambatha admitted that he never sought any legal advice before sending the letter to the Nailalakai for publication as he was practicing his freedom of expression. Wangambatha is charged with 1 count of sedition and it is alleged that between 20th and 27th April 2016, he did a seditious act and submitted an article in the Nailalakai newspaper which could have caused an ill will and hostility between the population of Fiji, particularly the Muslims and the non-Muslims. Anire Ravula is charged with 1 count of aiding and abetting and it is alleged that he aided Arts to publish an article which was a seditious publication. Fred Wesley is charged with 1 count of aiding and abetting and it is alleged that he aided Arts to publish an article which was a seditious publication. Hank Arts is charged with 1 count of sedition and it is alleged that he published an article on 27th April which could have caused an ill will and hostility between the population of Fiji, particularly the Muslims and the non-Muslims. The trial continues tomorrow. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
A day after the landowners in the West got the biggest lease payments, Fiji Pine Limited yesterday paid out a total of $2.8 million in bonus payments to pine landowners in Vanuatu. This was part of an overall $7 million that has been paid out to landowners and those in the north. It is by far the largest lease security bonus payment ever. Eleanor Tarangaivu has the story.
The smiles say it all. 259 pine land-owning Matangalis or clans receiving their bonus checks from Fiji Pine Limited.
You have heard that this year Fiji Pine Limited attained the highest profit, the benefits of which you landowners across the country are receiving, a total of $7 million compared to the $350,000 we had started off with in 2013.
Ratu Josiah Ryder received $48,000 on behalf of his Matangali Naita of Lekutu in Bua. Consisting of 70 members, the clan has big plans in the utilization of the money.
We are planning to do business with this money. We're already on plans. We're getting a truck. The other plans are our machineries for the work to be done in our forest in Bua.
The Matangali Rara Lewo of Otua in Lekutu Bua received about $120,000. Matangali representative Watikini Tanga says they have never received such payments before.
All the years that we have been given bonus checks, this is by far the largest amount we have ever received.
Lease security bonus payments had started off with $5 per hectare in 2013. It's grown to $21 per hectare in the last 2 years. From this year, the payment is now $168 per hectare.
We can say that there is no other piece of agricultural land or forestry land anywhere in Fiji that pays higher returns than the pine leases.
Vanuatu has about 20,000 hectares of pine plantation, and these are mainly in the Mbua and Madwata provinces. Eleanor Tarangaivu, FBC News.
The combined cost of damage as a result of Tropical Cyclone Josie, Tropical Cyclone Kenny and the flooding from TDF-13 last month may surpass $100 million. Director for the National Disaster Management Office, Anare Lewaningila, says they're currently working on finalizing the cost of the damage along with key agencies like the Water Authority of Fiji and Energy Fiji Limited. Lewaningila says with Kandavu badly hit by TC Kenny, the Prime Minister's care package is expected to be customized for those residents affected, with over 200 homes completely damaged.
Could be looking at the vicinity of 50 to 100 million. The preliminary cost by the Commissioner Eastern for Kandavu alone is around 22 million. So those are some of the figures that we are receiving right now, and those are some of the areas also we are trying to clarify in relation to the details of both the damage and losses that have occurred in these various division and across all sectors.
A newly formed police unit destined to be peacekeepers to be deployed on overseas missions is expected to undergo UN peacekeeping training. The training follows an agreement between the US government and Fiji to assist in training and deploying Fijian police peacekeepers. Akusita Thale with more details.
Around 120 to 150 police peacekeepers to United Nations and regional peacekeeping missions will be trained by the U.S. Department of State's Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs.
And it's critical that police are fully trained and qualified for timely deployment to perform their mandated duties. We know based on data that support from trained and dedicated leaders, uniformed personnel and staff makes peacekeeping more effective.
The training will enhance Fiji's ability to deliver high-quality police peacekeepers to the UN and regional missions. Trainers will also provide technical advice to Fiji's ability to effectively deploy police peacekeepers and develop pre-deployment training, schedules, logistics, tactics, command and administration. This is the first time ever a contingent from the police force will be deployed as peacekeepers to overseas missions, as previously only individual officers were deployed as observers.
We need to be trained and prepared for that role as soon as possible. And all that will be running simultaneously. We're looking at how we can best equip that formed police unit when we move in.
The police commissioner says the time frame for deployment depends on the requirements by the UN, adding they will visit the country soon to conduct a review in training and the capabilities they have at present. They also aim to make it a Melanesian spearhead group unit in the near future by getting elements from neighboring islands to be embedded in the formed police unit. Akosita Tale, FBC News.
Still to come, more than $1 million distributed in the West. And studies in dancing pays off for Sidal. Stay with us.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo talita kana varorong na radio Fiji 1 and ndo moi viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon ko ndo talita kana radio Fiji 1 kina ndo moi viti.
Kaya kuyaga sila tale, nagurara may nawamanyi, nandunga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu Venezuela, nagudurong barong na radio Fiji 1 nando moi viti.
Na radio Fiji 1 nando moi viti na bonga ni BNN.
More than $1 million has so far been disbursed through the M-Pesa card under the Home Care Initiative that is currently underway in the Western Division. Areas in the West that were affected by the recent floods have been visited by the Ministry of Social Welfare and Vodafone, with more than 2,000 cards also being given out to affected people. Felipe Naikaso has more.
Residents that were affected by the recent floods in the Western Division continue to visit centers where the Home Care Initiative program is available.
It's very good, so we can assist our homes in damaging for the flooding. It's a really big help for us for the government, supporting the damage for the flood of our homes.
In just the past few days, 104 people have received their top-up cards in Ba, with a total of $222,500 distributed. The team, which was also in Matawalu outside of Lautoka, gave out top-up cards to 816 people, distributing $918,500 to them.
From these funds, I'll be buying a couch, carpets, and also a stove. I still can't believe that today I have received the funds.
Is government helping us in the way that the flood affected areas, and the government is looking after us. It's good.
With the disbursement of funds through the M-Pesa card now passing the $1 million mark, this is expected to further increase as teams will be visiting areas around the Western Division that were affected by the floods recently. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
New Zealand is fully sponsoring the Tuilevuka, Rato Etonia Seru and a few others currently visiting Overla workers in New Zealand under the Recognised Seasonal Workers Scheme. Employment Ministry Deputy Secretary Vilimon Mbalen Rokanroka, also part of the delegation, has confirmed 20 men are employed as fruit pickers for Mr. Apple Company in New Zealand. Savaira Tambo reports.
These workers are employed for 7 months under the scheme. Speaking from New Zealand this morning, Deputy Permanent Secretary for Employment, Mbalen Rokanroka, said employers have shown their gratitude towards the job performance of the Fijians.
They'll be finishing their 3 months in Northern, in Hawke's Bay. They've been picking apples there. So in June they'll be down here in Blenheim to work in the farms, in the vineyards. So we have the Tulibook and the delegation coming down to see how the work is actually done.
The Minister for Employment, Johnny Usamate, also highlighted few other plans put in place by the ministry to get more jobs for Fijians overseas.
We are looking to have liaison officers in Australia and New Zealand so that they can meet our workers, communicate with them, and also interface with them and their employers. And the second thing that these liaison officers will be doing once we have them appointed, they will search for more opportunities for more people to go across from Fiji.
The Employment Ministry also review the overseas progress of workers when they return to Fiji. Sabera Tambua, FBC News.
University life for many is not only about studying but also having fun, partaking in sporting activities and making new friends. But this was not the same for FNU graduate Elizabeth Tanya Seidel. She had to work, study and at the same time do household chores and support her family financially at the same time. Catherine Krishna filed this story from the FNU graduation today.
Juggling between studies and working as a dancer at Vo Dance Group has been a difficult journey for Elizabeth Siddle, but her hard work paid off as she graduated with double majors in banking and management from the Fiji National University today.
So my mom does not work, she stays at home, she's a domestic worker, and my dad is a carpenter, and at times it's a bit difficult because his work would only depend on the weather only. So if the weather is good, then he gets to work, but if the weather isn't good, then it's unfavorable for him to go and work out there.
Siddle says support from her family pushed her to achieve success at school.
Now I am proud to say that this year I have been offered a job as Human Resource Manager at the Vo Dance Company, which is now based in Nandi.
Elizabeth's mom, Miliakere Vunambaka, was a proud woman because apart from her daughter, her son also graduated, and this is a pre-Mother's Day gift to her.
I'm very proud of my two children. They are graduating today, plus my birthday, and next week is Mother's Day.
A total of 322 students graduated from the College of Business, Hospitality and Tourism Studies from the Fiji National University today. Catherine Krishna, FBC News.
Landowners can expect more returns from gravel extraction on their land in the future following the proposal made by the Mineral Department to the Lands Ministry. Permanent Secretary Malakai Finau says the proposal aims to increase the current rate for gravel extraction of 50 cents per cubic metre. While making a submission to the Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee today, Permanent Secretary for Mineral Resources Malakai Finau says they will review the payments for gravel extraction. Finau says the review will see the landowners getting an increase in the royalties that is paid to them.
For us, for gravel extraction, it's $2.18 at the moment. Is some that we receive from the extractors, and for that, government retains. Government retains $1.50.
Carrier drivers from Nandi and Lautoka have raised concerns regarding their illegal operations, which they have to do as they haven't been given permits to operate legally. Under the law, carrier operators need to have a fixed base from which they can operate. This was highlighted in the 13th annual general meeting of the Fiji Van and Carrier Operators Association, which was officiated by Transport Minister Pravin Kumar. While responding, Kumar says they are working on curbing this issue by providing permits to carrier operators. He adds those operators who are in urgent need of a permit will be on their priority list, following which zoning will be done to carry out a barrel process whereby around 200 applicants will be selected for the permits.
As an operator owner, I encourage you to work with your government in a commitment to find new and vibrant solutions that may address the many problems that we encounter.
Jamie joins us later with all the very latest in sports, but for now we join Rachel with business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up in business tonight. Fiji's film sector amounted to $32 million of economic activity in 2014. And in growing Fiji, 27 households in Thai level now have safer source of water supply. Stay with us.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1। इट्स सो हॉट।
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट।
हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेफ्रिकी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट। आई लव मिर्ची एफएम।
हमें स्पिन टोटो ताबुआ के मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे।
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट।
Leading business tonight, Fiji's film sector amounted to $32 million of economic activity in 2014, with over 50 international productions filmed here in Fiji. Trade Permanent Secretary Shaheen Ali says the increase in productions are attributed to the attractive tax rebate of 47%. Ali says Film Fiji is working on boosting the number of international productions, not only to benefit the economy, but also to assist Fijians with employment opportunities and to gain specialized skills. He adds, while Fiji is an attractive destination, competition from other island countries are tough.
Things like airfares, insurance, location scouting and visit, costume, makeup and set design, producer's fee, but there's a limit on that, writer's fee, hiring of cameras. So anything that helps Fijian industries qualifies as local content, but with slight variations because productions are unique. Those will qualify for rebate.
Freebird Institute has received the necessary regulatory approvals to extend its business activities to operate a foreign exchange. The company explored this new business venture to address the concerns of its international students in relation to the cost of currency exchange in Fiji, as well as waiting time at the airports during arrivals. Chair and Chief Executive Hiroshi Taniguchi says they received numerous reports from Japanese students in relation to the ease and the cost of exchanging their yans at the airport during a big arrival. And we now join Sean with the latest from the money market.
Let's see the latest developments in the market. New Zealand's unemployment rate fell to a 9-year low of 4.4% in the first quarter, adding to signs that sluggish wage growth will eventually pick up. Meanwhile, Australia left its key interest rate unchanged at a record low yesterday amid the slowing of a hiring boom. Their cash rate has remained at 1.5% since late 2016 as their central bank waits for inflation to pick up. The traders eagerly anticipate tomorrow morning's US Federal Reserve monetary policy statement and interest rate decision. While Fed officials are not scheduled to release a new interest rate, they could upgrade their view of the economy and inflation in its post-meeting statement. This perhaps will be market-moving news, and we'll wait to see how it affects our Fiji dollar and other trade partner currencies tomorrow. And that's all for now. Thank you.
Thanks, Sharon. Taking a look at today's currency exchange rate set this morning for the Fijian dollars. The foreign exchange market remains somewhat volatile, with our dollar making gains against our two major trading partners, Australia and New Zealand, as well as the euro and the Japanese yen. Taking a look at the commodities market, all were down, with oil prices closing at 67.41 a barrel. Gold closed at 1,306 per ounce, and silver was down as well to close at 16.18 an ounce. And in growing Fiji tonight, 27 households in Matamai village in Namaratai Levu, about 19 kilometers from Nasori town, now have a safer source of water supply. The Water Authority has installed rainwater harvesting systems in the village. Chief Operating Officer Samalman Ekananaike says as part of the over $80,000 project, 20 sets of 5,200-litre water tanks, roof catchments, gutter and downpipes have been installed. A 10,000-litre tank and gutters were also installed at the village church. WEF crew members, with the assistance of the village, also repaired a damaged concrete water tank. The villagers are grateful for this assistance, as 147 people in the village will benefit from this project.
Especially the innocent ones, the women and the children, for drinking from the tap, because it's been going on for more than 5 decades, and it requires a lot of sacrifices for the people. They have to carry water and walk a long distance. But now, be able to get that water on the doorsteps, what a time.
And that's it from Business Tonight. Jamie joins you now with the latest in sports.
Thanks, Rachel, and good evening. Coming up in sports, fans welcome Sevens heroes back home, and Fiji under-20 ruggers suffer another defeat. This and more after the break.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ. मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1. इट्स सो हॉट.
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे. मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट.
हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेकी से. मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं. मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट. आई लव मिर्ची एफएम.
हमें स्पिन तो ताबुआ के मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे.
मिर्ची एफएम, इट्स हॉट.
proper preparation and practice. That's what Coach Gareth Baber has attributed to their last-minute win in Singapore over the weekend. The side returned home this morning, and while they are overwhelmed with another tournament win, they aren't losing focus of the end goal. Felipe Nakaso has reports.
Back from Singapore with the spoils of the win over the weekend, but these stars may have won the battle, but the war isn't over as they arrived into the country for recuperation before hitting the training grounds again.
We know we've only achieved a position at this stage, and obviously the final position at the end of the series is what we're after. The boys are focused on delivering that, and obviously nice to be back here with a win in Singapore. Puts us in a good position moving into London and Paris.
Well, many would attribute the last-minute winner against Australia in the final of the Singapore Sevens as luck. The team has revealed they have been well prepped for situations like that.
We've done a lot of work on it in training scenarios. You've got a minute to play and we've got to score and we're on our own line. And when players get conditioned and used to doing that and have the emotional control to be able to do it and make good decisions in the final couple of minutes.
For the players, the goal was laid to them before departing for Singapore.
Prior to leaving for Singapore, I said that this tournament was very important for us. We were trailing behind by 3 points, and you know, we were quite lucky and fortunate to come out victorious in the end. However, we were playing on Fiji time.
It was our main goal from the beginning to try and come on top of the series and to win the series this year, and we work hard as a team to achieve where we are right now.
Despite the side also arriving in the early hours of this morning, fans were still at the Nadi airport to welcome the side home, something which shows the confidence in the coach and the team, which is soaring once again. The team takes a few days break before they return to camp next Monday. Felipe Nakaso, FBC Sports.
Fijian winger Alessio Nanduva has made headlines in the Sevens world after his last-minute try against Australia to steal the Singapore title last weekend. And in case you might be wondering whether it was a stroke of luck or something premeditated, Nanduva answered that question upon arrival today. Vasnil Prasad reports.
First it was in Hamilton Sevens when Fiji won its first title of the season. Then in Vancouver,
medal winners,
followed by a fourth straight win in Hong Kong. And then in Singapore Sevens when Alessio Nanduva stole the show, scoring a last-minute try in the 28-21 final against Australia.
Before we do the scrum, I told Wise, and no need to, just give me the ball. Just give me the ball. I can. And yeah, I scored a try.
Another player who stepped up with his performance was player of the final, Waisiana Dhungu.
I want to thank my family for always supporting me, and I want to dedicate the Player of the Final award to my relatives back in my village who were affected during Cyclone Kenny, and also the people of Mba.
While other players are already used to this kind of reception, it was something special for Keponi Paul.
Trying my shot to go again the last two legs, Paris and London, and we'll see what happens next.
Hats off to this set of players who have had a grueling month playing 3 tournaments, meeting South Africa and New Zealand in all tournaments this month, winning 2 and claiming first place from once being 5th on the series standings. Vasnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
Fiji lost its second match at the 2018 Oceania Rugby Under-20 Championship, going down to New Zealand 55-15 yesterday. The side lost 51-5 to Australia in its opening match. The Fiji Rugby Union announced Swire Shipping as one of its major sponsors today. The multinational company with its headquarters in Singapore will have naming rights for the Fiji Warriors and the Fiji Tuawa Tens team in a deal for the next 3 years.
Excited to have reached this stage. There's been long discussions and negotiations, and I would like to just officially announce that this afternoon we will be signing a sponsorship agreement with Swire Shipping.
The Western Force and the Fiji Warriors will open up World Series Rugby on Friday night, a competition some have said will revolutionize the sport. A few athletes who are part of the Special Olympics Fiji Games will have a chance to compete at the World Special Olympics next year. Special Olympics Fiji chairman Biswa Sidal says the final squad will be named later this week. This will be the second time for Fiji to have representatives at the World Special Olympics, which will be held in Abu Dhabi from the 14th to the 21st of March.
For Fiji, we've been given a quota for track and field, for table tennis, for swimming, table tennis, athletics, and open water swim. We are still keeping our fingers crossed if our football team is invited. So what we would do after this week, development squad will be named, where the coaches who came from the various districts will be given a set of athletes to work on, and come end of September, likely squad will be named.
Fiji Sevens winger Alessio Nanduva has been tagged as one of Sevens rugby's fastest alongside USA greats Carl Niles and Perry Baker. World Rugby clocked Nanduva at 36 kilometers per hour against Spain and Singapore for this try.
Sit. Tuai pops it in and now peels out the back. Tuai dances around the Spanish defenders and releases Nanduva. Nanduva is nitro. The reply is swift, it's lethal. Tuai.
That's it from sports tonight. Angie joins you later on with weather and in the world of the weird and the wonderful, journey through the temple caves of Sri Lanka. Catch that after the break.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoi Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Usi kombinasyon mo sekolah untuk talita kana Radio Fiji 1 kena Domoi Viti.
Kaya kuyazo sila tale, nagurara may nawamanyi, nandunga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu Venezuela, nagudurong barong na Radio Fiji 1.
In new media, almost a year and a half after they first launched, Snapchat has released Spectacles 2.0. This is with new features, new colours and a new price. And it's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. The weather has changed drastically overnight. Yesterday was all sunny and today was all drizzles throughout. Well, really hoping for a change anytime soon. Taking a look in the west for today, it was cloudy with light showers, more in store for night, so keep and drive safe. Eastwards from Pekaba to Suva, no sign of any rain, light to moderate drizzles took over. And up north, cloudy with intervals of rain. At sea, southerly winds gusting up to 35 knots with rough seas. For the tides, high tide at 8:02 p.m. with low tide at 1:48 a.m. Sunrise will be at 6:20. For tomorrow, we're getting closer to the weekend. How exciting! And we're looking at few isolated showers, which is expected to clear off by evening. Tomorrow's temps, all major centers will be cool in the high 20s. And looking further on to Friday, light to moderate showers are on the forecast, but it might change. I'll keep you updated on that. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fiji Pulse tonight, we asked, should earthquake sirens be installed in all towns and cities?
The people need to be spoken to be taught how to control themselves when that happens.
I think sirens should be put because it will protect us.
Big siren is going to be helpful for us because it gives us warning.
Recapping the main stories for tonight, Lolohe admits to stabbing in court trial. Fiji Times court case hears from letter author, and northern landowners get massive payment. Now for these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question segment, we're asking, Are you going to take up the offer of getting shares in EFL? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day. This was taken in Vaisaru Bar by Sushnil Prakash. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
Wrong on the radio Fiji 1 and the Moiviti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Sikuminasyon mo tikola ang totalita na radio Fiji 1 kina Dombili.
Kaya kuyazo sila tale. Nagurara may nawamanyi nandunga. Gitu tale tajiri ang gitu Venezuela nagundurongo. Barrongo na radio Fiji 1 nandumoiviti.
Na radio Fiji 1 nandumoiviti na bonga ni BNN.